Good morning. How's everybody doing? You know, if you're like me, and I think you are, you think you have lots of stories. But you know what? You don't. You have one story. One story, and it's called your life. This, thank God, is not me. This is actually my younger brother, JJ. And, you know, life is good, but life is not easy growing up looking like that. If you think I'm being mean, my brother's somewhere making fun of me today. He usually says that my middle tooth is missing in the shot. The two of our stories are woven pretty closely together. We're the youngest of 6 kids. That's me in the top bunk, and that's JJ in the bottom bunk. We grew up just outside of Boston, and our father worked in a machine shop. He was a great guy and outdoor enthusiast, and the photos we see before JJ and I came along are pretty amazing. He has the family going up mountains and teaching them how to scuba dive and you know, all these wonderful things. And Mom raised the kids. And, you know, when we were, it's interesting, you go to my parents' house these days, and you'll see bookcases filled with photographs of my older brothers and sisters. But this is one of 3 photographs of our childhood. So I said to my mom not long ago, you know, I can forgive you for losing the camera. They had too many kids, they didn't have enough money. But how about putting some damn sheets on the bed? My parents, can you catch a Frisbee? The best way to catch a Frisbee is just like this. Can you catch one? Somebody catch that. Yes! The most important thing we do this morning is catch these Frisbees. And Life is Good is very much about blurring the line between work and play. So, when my brother and I were in elementary school, my parents had a near-death car accident. Our parents had a near-death car accident. And Mom had her seatbelt on, and so she got some broken bones, but she was okay. Dad lost a heck of a lot of blood. He almost lost his life. They wanted to amputate his leg, and he never regained the use of his right arm. It's hard to understate the impact of that accident. It changed my dad. The financial pressures in the household were already mounting. So the small home that we had in a really nice town outside of Boston started to fall apart. Windows that were broken didn't get fixed. The lawn grew up like this. The gutter fell down in the winter and we chipped away the ice. And my dad, the worst of it was that he became depressed. He lost himself. Life kind of got the better of him. He was never a bad guy, but the household became a place for screaming and yelling. It was a constant soundtrack in our home. Our mom kept the family together. She was the first powerful optimist in our lives. She showed us how to change the energy in a situation, and she did it masterfully. Our mom didn't just read us bedtime stories. She acted out the characters. She became the pirate and took us off in forbidden seas. She became the queen and took us up the marble steps of glorious castles. She took us into the emerald forest and became the wolf, and we begged for more. We loved it. She unlocked our imagination. Could there be a greater gift that a parent could give their kids? Our mom turned off the television, and she taught us to draw. She put paper and crayons and pencils on the ground. And she challenged us to imagine things that didn't exist. Flying submarines, create new animals, combine animals. And my brother and I loved it. We begged for more and more. Maybe the greatest gift that our mom, Joan, gave to us was that at the dinner table, and there was lots of dysfunction in this home. Sometimes my dad was in a bad mood. Sometimes the police were pulling up outside for one of our older brothers. They weren't bad guys. They just didn't follow all the rules. And My mom would look around the table at her 6 kids and she would say, "Tell me something good that happened today." Very, very simple. Individually, she would acknowledge the obstacles, but when we were together as a team, she encouraged us to focus on what was right rather than what was wrong. Whatever people focus on will grow, and it's contagious. So all of a sudden, we'd be riffing on the funniest things that happened that day. We'd be talking to each other about something great that happened at school, and all of a sudden, we were acting like a family. When we look back, we think, "Wow, Mom, how did you do that?" Try asking that question to start off your next meeting instead of allowing people to point the finger, instead of allowing people to start listing all the things that are wrong with your organization. Try doing it at the dinner table like my mom. It changes the energy. Optimists see opportunities. They acknowledge the obstacles, but we focus on the opportunities and we grow the opportunities. It's very simple. When my brother and I graduated from college, we decided that we wanted to make a living selling our art. We were very intimidated by the world of fine art. So we said, how about t-shirts? T-shirts is financially accessible to us. We'll design things and we'll sell them in the street. We bought this van, we called it the Enterprise. We told each other we were gonna boldly go where no t-shirt guy's gone before. And believe it or not, we traveled in that van and we slept in it at night for 5.5 years. 5.5 years, lots of great stories, lots of great memories, but we weren't commercially successful, not at all. One day we had a conversation, and that conversation changed our lives forever. It was a conversation about how the media always focuses on what's wrong with the world, rarely focuses on what's right with the world, always telling us, giving us the 6 o'clock violent murder report instead of the 6 o'clock news. And we thought, well, the 6 o'clock news, these bad things do happen, but good things happen too. So where's the balance? In this dark and gloomy conversation, as optimists, we saw an opportunity. And the opportunity was to create some simple symbol that represented what's right with the world, that allowed people to celebrate what's right with the world, what's good in the world. So simple, right? 3 simple words, life is good. But you know what? When we got in the street and we sold those 3 simple words for the first time in 5 years, it sold fast. We sold 48 t-shirts in 45 minutes. This is a picture taken the first day outside McDonald's on the street in Cambridge, Mass, and we had 48 shirts and they were gone in 45 minutes. We knew we had something. Completely different demographics bought this. A Harley guy with big tattoos, right? A little preppy school teacher with a Burberry skirt. They bought the same shirt. He might have bought a XXL and she bought a small, but it was the same message. And then some kid with purple and green hair and a skateboard bought the same question. We knew we had it. People say, when did you know you had something? The first day we knew. We just had no idea what to do with it. No idea how to run a business. No idea how to do anything. We just knew we had that little magic dust. So what we did was we drove down to Cape Cod. That's what people do in Boston when you have something to think about. You go down to Cape Cod and you go swimming in the ocean. So we went swimming in the ocean and we came up with an idea. It wasn't a stroke of genius, right? It was a stroke of common sense. Stroke of common sense was, let's try to sell these by the dozens or by the case to retailers. We've been selling direct in the street for 5 years. This is a good one. Let's bring it to stores. So we did it. We went around in the van all over Cape Cod and struck out everywhere and opened one shop. This one woman, just the sun was going down, she had a surf shop right on the beach. I'll take 24 pieces. I love it, she says. Nancy was her name. So we sent her the shirts. 2 weeks later, the phone rings at our apartment in our kitchen, which was doubling as our warehouse, and she says, hey, it's me, Nancy, from the Cape. Hi, Nancy. How the shirts doing? I'm all sold out. Well, fantastic. Do you want more? Yes. But my husband and I were talking. Our surf shop's next to an ice cream shop, and we think life is pretty good when you're having an ice cream. Okay, I don't get it. She said, well, we were wondering, that character of yours, Jake, does he eat ice cream? I said, no, but he will. So Jake started eating ice cream. Now, you would think, by now you're realizing my brother and I are not that smart. We can't fake it. You'd think we know where this is going, but we didn't. Another 2 weeks go by and we get a phone call. Ring, ring. Hi. I forget her name, but it was Nancy's sister-in-law. And Nancy's sister-in-law owned a shop up in Vermont on the bike path. And she said, my sister-in-law says the Life is Good t-shirts are her best sellers now. We want to get some. So does this guy Jake is the character's name, does this guy Jake ride a bike? This time I got smart. No, but if you pay in advance, he will. So Jake started riding a bicycle. Now we see where this thing's going. We're slow, but we're precise. We realize that this is easy. All we have to do is listen to people. We don't have to have the answers. All we have to do is walk around, talk to people, and say, what do you love? What do you love to do? And this can become a really fun business. What a cool way to make a living. This is too easy. So we went around and people told us, I love to play guitar. Put it on a t-shirt. Does it sell? Yes. I love to garden. I love to play piano. Whatever it is. And you know what? The business started growing. We made every operational mistake in the book, but the business started growing like mad. It started growing like mad, and for us, $3 million in 6 years was a big deal, okay? A lot of people in this room could have grown it to $50 million in that amount of time, but we didn't know what we were doing. At that point, we had a visit from the bank, and we needed to get a loan. And the guy asked for a business plan, and I looked at him right in the eyes and said, what's a business plan? And he told me, I'll help you with it. He helped us with it, and he had some consultants come in and they said, for 6 years, you're building this business with no traditional advertising. It's not sustainable, so you got to put money aside for advertising. I said, no problem. Give us the loan, we'll do some advertising. Here's what we didn't expect. We didn't expect that we'd start getting letters from customers of ours who were facing tremendous challenges in their lives, real challenges. This is a young woman named Lindsay Beggin. When she was 10 years old, she was diagnosed with terminal bone cancer. They told Lindsay she wouldn't live longer than a year. And Lindsay was in a newspaper wearing that Life is Good hat. It was called the Life is Good hubcap at the time, right? And we made up stupid rhymes in the street about it, okay? Lindsay's wearing the hat, and they put an article about her in the Boston Globe. And they say, do you understand your prognosis? 10-year-old. And she says, yes. They don't think I'm going to live longer than a year. And the journalist says, can I ask why you're wearing a hat that says life is good? And she said, very matter-of-factly, before I was sick, I took my life for granted. But now I want to make sure every day counts. My brother and I could not believe that. We read it over and over, and then we read lots of other letters like it, most of them coming from children. Children live their lives wide open like this. But as we get older, sometimes we have a tendency to live our lives like this. Life is Good is very much about maintaining that childlike openness. And we learned those lessons from people like Lindsay. So I'll tell you what we did. The only logical thing anybody in here would do. Instead of spending the money on advertising, you probably guessed it, we spent it on a pumpkin festival. Can we try to catch another Frisbee? How about a skip? Come on. I'm an optimist. I'm going to make believe it's kind of dark over there that they caught it. 2 for 2. We didn't know if people would show up to the pumpkin festival, but they did. This woman is obviously 15 months pregnant, wearing a bikini in October, right? What a character, in Maine. Her husband, Mr. Positive Man. I have no idea who the guy on the left is, but there were kids there, so we had him escorted from the premises. The consultants told us to stop investing in pumpkins. You're not making money on pumpkins. But we hired this person as our pumpkins logistics coordinator, and we kept investing in pumpkins. Why? Because that first event raised over $100,000 for kids who really needed it. We're a $3 million company, and we didn't know how it would impact our business, but it felt right. We kept having pumpkin festivals. In 2006, we beat the world record for carved lit pumpkins in one place at one time. That's a picture of over 31,000 lit carved pumpkins on Boston Common at the same time. The important thing isn't the Guinness Book of World Records, although that was on our bucket list, so we checked it off. The important thing is one event raised over $500,000. $500,000, the general public coming out and having a ball. We ran out of everything. Ran out of pumpkin ice cream, ran out of pumpkin pie, everything. It didn't matter. People want to help if you give them a chance. It led to the Life is Good Kids Foundation, which is integrated into our business. How do we integrate it? We're helping kids with social and emotional wellness. We're helping kids to be optimists, kids who live in the worst neighborhoods, kids who face violence, kids who are facing diseases like Lindsay. They sometimes are so struck with trauma that they forget to be kids. We're empowering them to be kids again and someday to be leaders. How do we do it? Well, why do we do it? We do it because it feels good. What we've learned through the years is it actually selfishly will help your business, and it's smarter money spent than advertising. It's actually the path of capitalism. It's where capitalism is going. Capitalism is starting to solve more and more social issues. So how do we do it? A minimum of 10% of our profitability always goes to kids who need it. So yes, we have special events, right? And the special events raise money and awareness for kids. But as long as we're selling t-shirts and as long as people are celebrating what's right with the world, they will also, we're making it easy for them. You like the t-shirt, you like the color, you like the message, great. All you got to do is buy it. You don't have to donate anything extra. 10% of the profit's going to go to kids who really need it. We all have to make things easy. The world is noisy with digital information. Make it easy for our customers and they will help. What has it done for our employees? It's galvanizing. It's their favorite thing about Life is Good. The Pumpkin Festival has become the Life is Good Music Festival. 30,000 optimists gather together, and guess what? It raises over $1 million at every event. When you go buy a cold beer, or you buy a bite to eat, or you buy your ticket, you know that you're supporting kids who really need it. Everyone there is unified by the idea that, yes, you're going to see great musicians. It's a picture of Michael Franti. We've had Dave Matthews and Jack Johnson and Sarah Bareilles. All of our heroes, all of these great, we're music nuts. Do what you love what you do. We wanted to bring music in. But these artists and the fans get together and help people who really need it. You don't always have to make it an arduous process. We throw parties. People show up. We have a great time, and we help kids at the same time. I have no idea what this kid is looking at, but we blew his mind. Let's catch another one. Let's go deep on this one, okay? Somebody catch that. Good tip, yes. I love it. Incidentally, these Frisbees, they retail for $16, but I signed it. So now it's worth about $6. What happens to our business? Now it's 20 years later. It's 20 years later and we still haven't spent a penny on traditional advertising. Guess who built the business? Not us, our customers. In this digital age, anybody who thinks you're going to build a business on your own is out to lunch. You can't. You got to empower your customers to do it. And if they feel that you are authentic, they will build your business. If they believe in you, they will build your business. If they find that you are inauthentic, they will tear your business down. Is this a bad thing? No, it's a good thing. It is that path of capitalism. Whether we like it or not, we have enabled people to take control. They are voting with their dollars, and they are voting for those of us organizations that are doing good things in the world. This is great for business, the right businesses, and it's great for humanity. This is a picture of Richard Branson and I. It has nothing to do with my talk. I just wanted you to know I hang out with Richard Branson. We wrote a book recently, my brother JJ and I, and it's very simple wisdom. National Geographic published it, and you know, that's the cliff notes of the book. It's the idea that optimism is not a soft philosophy. It's a pragmatic strategy for approaching life. and it enables what we call 10 superpowers. These superpowers aren't like Herculean strength or X-ray vision. These are accessible to all of us. Simplest things in the world. We all just need reminders of them. If my brother and I can do this type of thing, trust me, anybody can do it. Right now, since it's been 20 years since we were in the enterprise, we're traveling around the country together. We're 40 days in on a 60 trip, and we're growing the good. We're raising over $1 million as we travel for different children's charities throughout the country. JJ and I are kind of back in the van again. One of the things we're doing as we travel is we're meeting people who inspired us along the way who we've never met before. And I'm going to show you a short video, and you're going to recognize who this is. Lindsay Beggin, the little girl. Remember, it's 20 years later. She's now 27 years old, and she just met us in California, and she's going to make you happy.
Right here? Okay. Are my feet the right? Yeah, I keep like turning this way. I don't know why. Hi, my name is Lindsay. I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a bone cancer, when I was 10 years old. I was going through chemotherapy and lost all of my hair, so a bunch of our family friends donated hats to me. The one that stuck out to me the most was this Life is Good hat. I was diagnosed on Marathon Monday of 1998 and wore it through the following August of 1999. So it's a little bit worn out now, but I keep it as a reminder. It reminded me to be positive and happy and excited, even though I was going through something that was a little bit difficult. A few months after I got the hat, I was interviewed on the radio and newspaper, and John and Bert from Life is Good reached out to me. I couldn't believe it. As a 10-year-old, wearing a hat and inspiring someone was pretty cool. And I got to meet them. I had so much fun and have been in touch with them ever since. They asked me, why did I wear the Life is Good hat? And I told them, life is good, no matter what. Well, I brought a little
old school.
flashback.
Come on,
God.
Oh, that is awesome. Is that the original?
Original.
Wow.
Faded a little bit. Still fits
The
though.
hubcap. Hubba, hubba, hubba. Be a hubcap lover. Get it for your sister and get it for your brother.
Ordinary people are inspiring. Lindsay inspired us. The first person who inspired us and the biggest inspiration for Life is Good is our mom, Joan. And unfortunately, last March, we got the news that our own mom had terminal lung cancer, never smoked a cigarette in her life. And when we found out that it was moving fast and that there wasn't much we could do, we went to Mom and said, is there anything that you'd love to do? She lived such an ordinary life. Would you like to go to Europe? Would you like to meet the president? I said, we don't know the president, but we'll get the shit done, Mom. And she said no. She thought about it and she said, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm scared of the cancer, she said, but I just want to be here. I don't want to be in the hospital. And I want to be with your father and you kids and the little ones. She's got 10 grandkids these days. And so we drove back in the city. They still live in the suburbs. And it bothered us, me and JJ. We talked about it all week. Your own mom's dying, you know it. You want to help her. But how can you help her if she doesn't let you? And then JJ figured it out. He called me and said, Mom loved with all her heart her whole life. And now that she knows she's dying, she doesn't have to run around to make up for love she wishes she gave. And I thought, wow, you got it. So the next morning I got in the car and drove out to see my mom. Of course, I took credit for the theory. I said, Mom, we figured it out. And she said, oh, that's really sweet, but I did think of something. I said, what? And she said, not now while I'm alive, but after I go, I want you to throw me a really good party. So we did. We threw an incredible party with music and dancing and food, and we can only hope that it lived up to her one request. Today, I ask you the question, since that day will come for you and that day will come for me. When that day comes, will we have to run around and make up for love we wished we gave? Or will we sit back like my mom did with a big smile and say, throw me a good party? It's your story. Your life is your story, and it doesn't last forever. At the beginning of our story, all of us, everybody tells us we need more. We need more stuff. We need more education. We need more money. But as we get older, further along in our story, we all come to the realization that the only thing we need more of is time. Time to do the things that you love, and time to be with the people you love. You have to protect your time with your life, because it is your life. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the conference.